So, in our last explainer, a single, desperate message was sent out into the vast emptiness of space. Today, we find out what answered. What started as a scientific mystery is about to get a whole lot weirder, and honestly, a whole lot more terrible.
So let's meet our new central character, a nanotechnologist named Wenjie. He gets pulled into this investigation, looking into a bunch of mysterious deaths happening to top physicists. But pretty soon, he realizes the mystery isn't just happening around him, it's happening inside his own head. Out of nowhere, this ghostly countdown just appears in his vision. It's just there all the time, ticking away. He can't make it stop. I mean, he closes his eyes, and he can still see it. He takes a picture of something, anything, and the numbers are burned right into the photograph. This is the question that's just eating him alive. You know, what is this? Is it a threat, a warning? Is it counting down to his own death? Maybe something way, way bigger. It breaks every known law of physics, and the pressure is seriously on.
So he's desperate for answers, and someone points him towards this incredibly advanced, super mysterious VR game called 3-Body. He's told that whatever's causing his countdown, the answer is hidden somewhere inside this game. But the second he logs in, he knows this is not just any game.
The world inside the game, Trisolaris, it operates under these just brutal, completely unforgiving rules. There's no normal day and night, no seasons you can predict. Civilization can only even try to grow during these short, random windows called stable eras. The rest of the time, the world is thrown into chaos eras. Think unpredictable apocalypses. One day the planet is scorching hot, the next it's frozen solid, and everything gets wiped out. And how this civilization has adapted to all this chaos is, well, it's shocking. To survive these chaos eras, the people there have evolved this ability to dehydrate themselves on command. Their bodies just flatten out into these dry, paper-like husks that can be stored away safely. When a stable era finally comes back, they're just rehydrated, brought back to life, and they try to rebuild all over again.
But the game isn't just about surviving. There's a real purpose, a way to actually win. The only way to save this civilization for good is to solve the ultimate puzzle, figure out the pattern of the suns, and predict when the next stable era will actually happen.
And in one of the levels, the civilization makes this monumental attempt to solve it. They build a computer on a scale that is just staggering. They gather an army of 30 million soldiers and arrange them into a massive grid. Each soldier acts like a single bit in a computer, holding up a white flag for a 0 or a black flag for a 1 to perform this one gigantic calculation. But even with this unbelievable effort, the most powerful computer their world had ever conceived, they got it wrong. The prediction was a complete catastrophe. Another chaos era hit without any warning at all.
And in that moment of absolute failure, the real, fundamental, horrifying truth about their world was finally understood. The puzzle wasn't just hard, it was literally impossible to solve.
Because here's the thing, their planet doesn't have one sun, it has 3. It's a planet that's trapped in this chaotic gravitational dance between 3 different stars. This is the 3-body problem, and it's a famously unsolvable problem in real-world physics. There is just no way to predict the planet's orbit. It's doomed to an eternity of chaos, with just a few brief moments of calm, and to one day, one of the suns is going to destroy it for good.
So Wenjie logs out, his mind just completely reeling from all this, and that's when the last few pieces of the puzzle just click into place. He learns the shocking truth. 3-Body isn't a game. It's a perfect simulation of a real alien world, the world of the Trisolarians.
And that's the game's true purpose. It's a filter. It's a way for the Trisolarians to find people on Earth who could understand their impossible situation, who would sympathize with their fight for survival, and who might even be willing to help them. It's a recruitment tool for a secret society here on Earth called the Earth Trisolaris Organization, or ETO.
Which brings us to the next terrifying question. I mean, who on Earth would lead an organization that's dedicated to helping an alien civilization, knowing their ultimate goal is to find a new home? By taking hours?
The answer to that question connects absolutely everything we've seen so far, from those secret messages in the past to this global conspiracy in the present. The leader, the commander of the ETO, has been hiding right in plain sight the entire time.
Remember the quiet, elderly astrophysicist Wenjie from our first explainer?
the one who sent that very first message into space, secretly hoping something would answer? Well, something did, and she's been working with them ever since. She is the commander.
After everything she went through in her past, she completely lost faith in humanity. She became the secret architect of this whole movement. She's the one who invited the Trisolarians to Earth, and her words now confirm everyone's absolute worst fears.
Okay, so the commander's identity is out. The ETO's plans are exposed. The secret war, it's over. Now the conflict is moving out of the shadows and right into the open. And humanity's first strike is a really daring, really high-stakes plan. It's a military operation designed to do two things: capture the ETO's communications with their alien masters and basically decapitate their leadership all in one swift, shocking move. It's called Operation Guzheng. And the name itself, which comes from a traditional Chinese stringed instrument, it's actually a huge clue to its terrifying nature. But what exactly is this plan? And can it possibly work against an enemy that's had centuries to prepare? Well, that is a story for our final chapter. All right, let's dive into one of the most just audacious, brutal, and honestly, brilliantly terrifying strategic operations in all of fiction. I'm talking about Operation Guzheng. And this whole thing, it was born from a completely impossible question. So here's the problem facing the world's governments. How do you take out an entire crew instantly before a single person can press a single button? I mean, think about it. They've found the enemy's command center, but it's basically a fortress. The second they know you're coming, the crew inside can just wipe everything. All the data humanity needs to survive, gone in a blink. So yeah, any normal attack, it's doomed from the start. What do you even do? Well, the answer isn't about what you attack with, it's about how you approach the target. And that target, it's a floating fortress called the Judgment Day. This isn't just any ship, it's holding secrets that could literally decide the future of the entire human race. So let's break down what the Judgment Day actually is. We're talking about a massive 60,000-ton oil tanker that's been converted. It's the command ship for Mike Evans, who leads the Earth Trisolaris organization, or ETO. So it's their mobile HQ. But here's the absolute kicker. Its servers hold every single communication they have ever had with the Trisolarians. Every message. Getting that data isn't just important, it's everything. The whole ballgame.
And this brings us right back to that impossible dilemma. Okay, so what if you just launch a missile at it? Boom, problem solved, right? Nope. The impact would vaporize the hard drives instantly. All that data, gone. All right, so how about a stealthy special forces raid? Well, the crew would have plenty of time to see them coming and just hit delete. It's a total tactical nightmare. You can't go in loud and you can't go in quiet. What's left?
So it becomes clear pretty fast. The solution can't be a bigger bomb or a faster soldier. It has to be something completely outside the box. Something new. A plan that actually weaponizes physics itself. You need an invisible executioner. And here it is. The breakthrough comes from a physicist named Wang Miao, and it's a nanomaterial he calls flying blade. Get this, it's a filament that's 1/100th the width of a human hair, so basically invisible, but it has the tensile strength to slice clean through hardened steel like it's, well, like it's nothing. But that's the real question, isn't it? How on earth do you turn a single tiny thread into a weapon that can take down a whole ship? The plan, as it turns out, comes from the mind of the brilliant and very gruff Detective Dashi. And it is just terrifyingly simple. Check this out. Step 1. You build 2 huge steel pillars, one on each bank of the Panama Canal. Step 2. You string 50 of these invisible filaments between them, creating this giant deadly web across the water. Then, step 3, you just lure the Judgment Day to sail right into it. See? They aren't even attacking the ship. They're tricking the ship into dismantling itself. So the trap is set. The Judgment Day is guided into the Panama Canal, and its crew has absolutely no idea what's waiting for them. They're sailing straight into a giant invisible slicer. I want you to just picture the scene for a second. It's quiet, it's calm, the crew is just going about their day, totally unaware of anything being wrong. You know, from the bridge, all they can see is open water, just the canal stretching out right in front of them. There is absolutely nothing to even hint at the danger ahead. And then, it begins. The very first sign is this faint, high-pitched screeching sound, a noise that nobody on board can place. And then, the ship's main antenna, the highest point on the whole vessel, it's just cut. It shears off clean and tumbles down, clattering onto the deck. The first filament has just made contact.
And then the real horror unfolds. The ship's own momentum does all the work, carrying it forward right through the entire web. Those 50 invisible filaments, they just slice through everything: the hull, the superstructure, the engines, and everyone inside. This isn't an explosion, it's a deconstruction. The entire ship just falls apart into these perfectly uniform slices, sliding apart just like a deck of cards being fanned out.
You know, that's what makes it so chilling. There's no fire, no big blast. The only sound is the groaning protest of 60,000 tons of steel being just systematically taken apart. That, and the sound of the wreckage finally crashing into the canal bank. The operation was a brutal, silent, and horrifying success.
Okay, so the physical destruction is over. But the real impact? That's just beginning. Because now we have to ask, what secrets did this insane operation actually uncover? What did humanity find in the enemy's private messages?
It turns out the operation worked perfectly. I mean, horrifically, but perfectly. Because the ship was sliced so cleanly, the hard drives inside were completely preserved. Every single file was readable. And for the very first time, humanity had a direct, unfiltered window into the minds of the Trisolarians, and what they saw was absolutely terrifying.
Two huge truths came out of that data. First, the Trisolarians are actually afraid of us. They did the math. They know that in the 400 years it's going to take their fleet to get here, our technology would grow so fast that we'd leave them in the dust. We'd be way more advanced. But the second truth, that one's way worse. They've already put their solution into action. Their plan? To lock our science in place, right now. And how do they do that? With something called a Sophon. Now try to wrap your head around this. It's a supercomputer, but it's been shrunk down to the size of a single proton. They sent these things to Earth years ago, and these tiny, invisible spies have been messing with our particle accelerators, causing chaotic, useless results. It's made it impossible for us to make any new discoveries in fundamental physics. Our science has literally been frozen in time.
So now the Trisolarians know that we've seen their playbook. The jig is up. So what do? They stop hiding. They drop all the subtlety and send humanity a direct message. And it's one of the most demoralizing things you could ever imagine.
This is it. 3 simple words. But they weren't projected onto a screen or a wall. No, this message was projected directly onto the retinas of Earth's top scientists and leaders. Imagine that. No matter where they looked, the words were there, burned into their vision. You are bugs. It was a declaration of absolute, total superiority. The psychological impact was just devastating. I mean, how do you even begin to fight an enemy that sees our entire species as nothing more than pests to be stepped on? Hope just evaporates. The world's greatest minds completely fall into despair, convinced that the fight is already over before it's even begun.
But then you get a completely different perspective from, of all people, Detective Daishin. He takes a group of these despondent scientists out to a field that's just swarming with locusts, and he points out something so simple but so profound. He says, look, humans have spent centuries trying to kill bugs, using everything we have, but they're still here. The bugs are still here.
And that's the new reality, isn't it? That message, you are bugs, it wasn't an ending, it was a declaration of war. Yeah, humanity might be completely outmatched when it comes to technology, but that will to survive, the same will that bugs have, that's a powerful force. This isn't the end. The real war has just begun.
But this, of course, creates a brand new, seemingly impossible problem. With those Sophons watching and listening to everything, any plan we come up with is known to the enemy the very instant we think of it. So that leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it? How do you fight an enemy who can literally read your mind?